Welcome back to Great Lakes Junction, everyone. This time we're working on that 2009 Dodge Charger, and the rear brakes need to be done. We need to do the pads and the rotors both. The rotors are all rusted and they're in bad shape, so we need to change them as well as the brake pads. So there's two slider pins that half the caliper slides on. There's one here, and there's another one down here on the bottom. That's a 15mm headed bolt there. And you'll also need an 18mm wrench, because this part wants to spin with it. Okay, next, we can get it in here. So now you got two 18mm bolts here and here, and that'll take off the other half of this caliper. Seems kind of odd sometimes. You look at videos on YouTube and all of this is nice and shiny and everything comes apart nice and easy. Obviously down south where they don't have salt on the roads in the wintertime to melt the ice and snow. Up here in Canada, the salt sure does rust everything. Now this particular brake's on this car, so those are the pads that pinch the router for your regular brakes. Your emergency brakes are inside of this router. So it has two half-moon shaped shoes in here that expand outward on the inside of this for your emergency brake. So if this doesn't just slide off, we'll have to back the pressure off on those. And if we have to do that, I'll show you how. So to back off the pressure on the emergency brake pads, there's a hole, whoops, there's a hole right there. There should be a rubber plug covering that hole. This one's obviously missing. I don't know if I have any extras laying around. There's a star wheel inside there that you need to turn. I'm not sure if you can do it with a regular screwdriver. I have it's basically a bent screwdriver, but it's a brake adjusting tool for this purpose. And I'm not sure whether you put the screwdriver in and pull it towards you, like out from the car, or whether you put the screwdriver in and push it towards the car. I can't remember which way it goes to loosen them off. We'll try one, and if that doesn't work, we'll try the other way. It doesn't want to go that way, so let's try the other way. It is possible that this stuff is seized up in here too. Especially with that rubber cap being out of that hole, letting the weather in. Yeah, I don't think it's turning, I think it's just slipping. So that star adjusting wheel I was telling you about is seized up on this. It wouldn't turn in either direction. So I got a couple of crowbars behind it. You have to try and find someplace solid to pry against because your backing plate is very thin and you don't want to bend it all up. So I found, like in here, there's a solid spot there and one on the other side, and I just kept jiggling pry bars back and forth to work it off over those inner brake shoes. Now, I would say that emergency brake, I mean, we don't use it, well, I don't use it at all, but the inside of this, where those emergency brake pads are meant to be used, is just as rough as all can be. It is so rusty. The outer router, you can see how much rust is on it. These things were just grinding away like crazy when you tried driving this car and you put the brakes on. So it all needed to be replaced. So we'll have a bit more work to do on this side because we're going to have to unseize that adjuster wheel. Now the backing plate in this car, even though it's very rusty, it's solid. It's not down to very thin metal yet that wants to crumble. So I'm just brushing the loose rust off of it so there's no rust particles falling into the brakes and grinding later on. But I'm not going to bother replacing them. It'd be a waste of money. You put new ones on here, they'll be nice and shiny for the first winter, and then they'll look like this. So there's no point in spending the money if you don't have to. The same with the brake linings for the emergency brake. They're severely wore down on one end, like paper thin on one end, on one side of it. I don't use the emergency brake. I don't care. If I was to use it, I wouldn't be using it to stop. I'd only be using it to hold the car on a hill or something. So the vehicle is stopped, apply the emergency brake. There's enough pad material on top and bottom. It's going to keep the car from rolling away. So I'm not worried about replacing those ones. This was the first part of the caliper that we lifted out of the way. And there's a piston in here. Your brake fluid is behind that piston. I've just put a clamp on here. You can use, this is what they call an F clamp. You can use a C clamp just to hold that piston in. I don't want it to weep its way out at all. It shouldn't, but I don't want it to. I'll have to push it in anyhow for the additional thickness of the new pads when we put them in. So that clamp will work fine. I can just thread the clamp and it'll push that piston in. I take the cap off of the master cylinder where the brake fluid goes and make sure it's not right up to the top with fluid before you start that. Because when you push the piston in, the fluid has to go somewheres. It'll go back to the master cylinder, and if it's already right full, it's just going to overflow and make a mess under the hood of the car. If it is full, use a turkey baster or something to draw some fluid out of the master cylinder so there's room for that fluid to go somewheres when you squeeze that piston in. Very important. Okay, so I need to get the star wheel out of here first, get that freed up, put it back in, then we can start reassembling the other new parts. Okay, so we got that unseized, so now I can turn it. So turning it in that direction from here, if you were on the back side, you would put that tool in and pull it out towards where the camera's sitting, and that would turn it in the same direction. So I just need to back it off a bit now, because when I unseized it and I was threading it, I think I'm too wide open. I'm pushing the shoes apart too far for the new rotor to go on over top of them. There. Okay, that goes on. You want to feel just a little bit of drag on those shoes inside for the emergency brake. That would be where they are properly adjusted. And I can hear them just slightly rubbing, so I'm happy with where they are right there. So there's our old brake shoes in that half of the caliper. Now this little aluminum clip that's on here, they refer to as the hardware. I got new hardware with these pads, but it's the wrong size. It's way too wide for these things, so I have to reuse this hardware, which is okay. It appears to be in good shape. It's not rusted up or nothing. They're aluminum, I believe, but there's no signs of corrosion or anything on them, so I'm happy with reusing them. The brake pads were definitely shot. The whole top of this one's completely gone, which is part of that really coarse rust that was on the old rotor. Just chewed the pad right off of there. See, it was making some terrible noise when you put the brakes on going down the road. Just make sure your hands are clean when you're handling your new brake pads. You don't need, I mean, dust is okay, but you don't want oil or anything on your fingers getting on these new pads. Same with your rotor. If for any reason you've got oil out or grease out or anything like that, don't get any on those braking surfaces. So we'll bolt this back into the car now. Looks like that's pushed in enough now to slide on there. Actually, there is one more thing I want to check. That's what I thought. The bottom pin on this side seems to be seized up also, and that's not good. They need to be free. Okay, so I'm turning it. I'm not trying to unthread it because they're not threaded in. I'll show you the top one. So see how easy that pin slides back and forth. There's a rubber boot to keep junk from getting in there. And that's just the way you want that to work. And the lower one was seized up. So I've got it turning, but now I need to get it out of there. And because it just slides out, that rubber boot and all should just pop right out of there. I'm not going to worry about that one because it's working, but I'm going to have to find a way to put outward pressure on that while I turn it to get it out of that hole so I can clean it up, grease it up, and put it back in. We got that other slider pin out, cleaned the rust all off of it, greased it up, put it back in so it's sliding just as free as the one above it. Tightened up all the bolts on that caliper, so everything should be good to put the wheel back on. Okay, that's tight enough for now until we get it down off of the axle stands. And then the repair manual for this says these should be torqued at 110 foot-pounds. Well, I hope there was something in there that was useful for you. I don't want to waste your time. So once again, thank you very much for coming and watching a video. Stay safe.